Hello and welcome to our lesson on word equations and using state symbols. From our previous studies, you should know that a chemical reaction will always have reactants and products. You will make something different, something new, and your reactants and products will be different. Your reactants are always on the left-hand side of the arrow. They are your ingredients, the things you are using to make the chemical reaction happen. And on the right side of the arrow, you have your products, the things you have made, the new products. In the middle, you have an arrow. This arrow represents making something. It is not equal to, it's not the same as, it's a makes arrow. Let's look at this easy example. Here's a really yummy chemical reaction. Eggs plus sugar making meringue. If I asked you to name a reactant, hopefully you would say eggs or sugar. If I asked you to name a product, you should be saying meringue. Okay, here's another example. I've got my reactants on the left-hand side of the equation, bread plus butter plus sugar plus orange. And what are we making? What are our products? Marmalade and toast. So if I asked you to name a reactant, you would go on the left-hand side of your arrow, bread or butter or sugar or orange. If I asked you to name the product which is a liquid, be careful, you're looking on the right-hand side. A product, is it marmalade or toast? Well, which one's a liquid? In this example, it's going to be the marmalade, isn't it? Okay, so this is something looking a little bit more like chemistry. I've got glucose with an L in brackets, plus oxygen with a G in brackets, making carbon dioxide with a G in brackets, plus water, which is with L in brackets. The first question says which or name a reactant that is a gas. So I'm looking for a reactant, I'm looking on the left-hand side, and I want to know which one is a gas. Is it glucose or is it oxygen? Well, that G in the brackets is telling me that oxygen is a gas, so the answer would be gas. Next question, then name a product that is a liquid. Well, I'm going to look on my right-hand side after the arrow. I've got carbon dioxide, G for gas, and water with an L for liquid. So the answer is going to be water. You need to know how to write a word equation. So let's have a look at this example below. Magnesium and oxygen react together to make magnesium oxide. So we need to say to ourselves, okay, what's going before the arrow? What are our reactants and what are our products? So what are the reactants? What are the things that we are reacting together to make something? What are our ingredients, if you like? Well, magnesium and oxygen. And what are the products? What are we making? We're making magnesium oxide. And so our word equation would look like this. Magnesium plus oxygen makes magnesium oxide. Okay, pause the video and have a go at this one for yourself. Okay, so this one's slightly more difficult because it's a little bit back to front. We've got to be careful here. What are the reactants? Well, it says water is made. So water is not a reactant. Water is made. That's a product. When hydrogen reacts with oxygen. So hydrogen and oxygen are our reactants. And the product is water. Our equation would look like this. Hydrogen plus oxygen makes water. Now it wouldn't matter if you put oxygen and hydrogen the other way around as long as they're on the left-hand side of the arrow. Okay, pause the video and have a go at this one, please. Okay, so again, we're asking the same question. What are the reactants? During a chemical reaction, oxygen and glucose are made. Okay, they're made, so they're not the reactants. From carbon dioxide and water. So what are the ingredients that we are making things from that are reacting together? Well, it's going to be the carbon dioxide and water. And what are we making? What are the products? Well, it says oxygen and glucose. And so our word equation would look something like this. And again, it doesn't matter whether you've got carbon dioxide and water the other way around, as long as they're on the left-hand side of the arrow, before the arrow. And again, oxygen and glucose could be the other way around as long as they are after the arrow. So I previously mentioned some state symbols. If I know that water is a liquid, I could put an L in brackets just next to it. A little S would mean solid, a little G would mean gas, and AQ means aqueous, or it means it's dissolved in water, it's a solution. So let's have a look at this question where we're asked to add the state symbols. So it says liquid water is made, so that's going to be a product, when hydrogen gas reacts with oxygen gas. So we're going to write down hydrogen with a G for gas plus oxygen, G for gas, makes water, which is a liquid. And that's what's called adding the state symbols. Okay guys, it's your turn. Pause the video and have a go for yourself. Okay, so it says write the word equations for the following reactions. Use the state symbols where known. So it might be that you can't do all of the state symbols, and that's okay. So it says solid sodium combines with chlorine gas to produce solid sodium chloride. And so it's producing sodium chloride, that's the product. I've got sodium solid plus chlorine gas making solid sodium chloride. Did you get it right? Okay, pause the video and have a go, please. Okay, so this one's a little bit trickier. There's a couple of state symbols missing, or there's one that might be able to get hold of. So it says solid sodium oxide is added to water at room temperature and forms sodium hydroxide. So I have solid sodium oxide, and that's added to water, so they're the reactants. It says water at room temperature. Well, do you think water at room temperature is going to be a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Well, hopefully you'd recognise that water at room temperature is going to be a liquid. And so it looks something like this. Notice we don't have a state symbol for sodium hydroxide. We're not told. Okay, pause the video and have a go, please. Okay, so this one says solid aluminium metal reacts with aqueous zinc chloride to produce solid zinc metal and aqueous aluminium chloride. So what have I got? What are my reactants and what are my products? It's going to look something like this. Solid aluminium, aqueous zinc chloride, making solid zinc and aqueous aluminium chloride. Okay, pause the video and have a go, please. Okay, this one then, zinc reacts with aqueous hydrochloric acid to produce a solution of zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. Right. Okay, well, let me put the answer up. It's going to be like this. Now, where have I got solid zinc from? Well, realistically, if I'd have left it blank, it would have been fine, but actually zinc is a metal. We know zinc is a metal, and we would guess that zinc metal is going to be a solid. We're told hydrochloric acid is aqueous. We're told, we're not told, zinc chloride, it says a solution of zinc chloride. Now, I did mention aqueous means dissolved in water, and that would make a solution. So the aqueous there comes from the word solution, and the hydrogen gas is already mentioned. Okay, pause the video and have a go, please. Okay, this one here, solid iron 3 oxide and carbon monoxide produce solid iron and carbon dioxide gas, and that's going to look something like that. Notice the iron 3 oxide, you're not supposed to know what that means. If it says it, include it. It doesn't alter what you need to do. Okay, and here's a real exam question. Okay, it says lots and lots of words, but at the bottom there it says write a word equation for this reaction. So there's a reaction going on, and I need to figure out what my reactants are and what my products are. So David is investigating some liquid fuels. He investigates the energy given out by 4 different fuels. He burns 1 gram of fuel each time. He uses the energy released to heat 25 centimeters cubed of water. Look at his results, fuel, temperature. Well, none of that's particularly helpful. I'm looking for reactants and products, aren't I? Here we go. Ethanol burns in oxygen. Carbon dioxide and water are made. Okay, well, what are my reactants? The ethanol and the oxygen. And what are my products? The carbon dioxide and water. That's it, guys. That's the end of this lesson. I hope it's been helpful. See you later. Bye.